Hello students, welcome to the second part of my video on The Merchant of Venice, Act 1, Scene 1. So we have discussed up to line number 59. So we know that Antonio was in a melancholic state, and Salarino and Salanio were suggesting different reasons behind his sadness instead of cheering him. And here you just note one thing. Salanio is also known as Solanio and Salarino. Salarino is also known as Salario. Salarino also known as Salario because in Act 3 Scene 2 page 132, just let me show it to you. Just 1 minute. Salarino is also known as Salario. See, here it is written Salario. This Salario and Salarino, they are the same person. Two names of the same person. And we have another, that is Salanio. And Salanio is also known as Solanio. So now Salarino said that you are not in love either, and he says all these things. He makes mention of Nestor, and he also makes mention of Janus. Now Salanio says, "Here comes Bassanio, your most noble kinsman, Gratiano and Lorenzo. Fare ye well. We leave you now with better company." Now what happens now? Salanio says, here comes Bassanio. Bassanio is coming. Your most noble kinsman, your most noble kinsman is coming. So along with him, Gratiano and Lorenzo are coming. Your cousin, your most noble kinsman is coming. So fare ye well. We bid you farewell. And we leave you now with better company. And we are leaving you with a better company. So we shall now leave you in a better company. Salarino is saying, "I would have stayed till I had made you merry, if worthier friends had not prevented me." Salarino added to it, he said, "I would have stayed here with you, still I could make you happy, had the arrival of your worthy friends not prevented me from doing this. Because your worthier friends have come, so we are living. Otherwise, I would have stayed until I could make you happy." Antonio, "Your worth is very dear in my regard. I take it your own business calls on you, and you embrace the occasion to depart. Your worth is very dear to me in my regard." Antonio is saying that I have great regard for you. Your worth, your value is very dear. So I regard, I value you. I take it, I understand. Your own business calls on you. He is saying that I understand that it is your business that is taking you away from us. I believe, I understand, I take it. Means I believe, I understand that your own business is taking you away from here. In my estimate, your worth is very high. I understand that your own business is taking you away from us, and you embrace the occasion to depart. And that is why you are making use of this opportunity, this occasion. That is, you are saying that worthier friends have come, that is why you are leaving. But I understand, I know, I believe that you have to attend to your business. That is why you are leaving now. But you are using this occasion as the reason to depart. Now, Bassanio, Lorenzo and Gratiano enter. Salarino or Salario, same. He is coming forward and wishing these gentlemen, this Bassanio, Lorenzo and Graciano. Good morning, my good lords. Gentlemen, good morning. Salerio is wishing. Bassanio, good signals both. When shall we laugh? Say when. You grow exceeding strange. Must it be so? He's saying, when are we going to have fun? When shall we laugh? Good seniors, good gentlemen, when are we going to laugh? Because they are justice, they make people laugh. Say when. You grow exceeding strange. You are getting rarer. You are becoming strange. These days you are rarer. Must it be so? So, he's saying, is it necessary to be so? Salarino, we will make our leisures to attend on yours. We will make our leisures to attend on yours. He's saying that both of when we will make use of our leisures, whenever we have free time, we have leisure, we will attend you to make you happy. Now, understood? So, in our free time, we shall speak to you and will make you happy. Now, exeunt Salarino and Salenio. Up to this clear? Up to line 70? Now, Lorenzo. My Lord Bassanio, since you have found Antonio, we too will leave you, but at dinner time. I pray you, have in mind where we must meet. Lorenzo is saying, my Lord Bassanio, since you have met your friend Antonio, we too will leave you now. You be with Bassanio, so we too. So, Lorenzo and Graciano. Lorenzo is saying this, that I will depart, I will live with Graciano. But at dinner time, I pray you, at dinner time, I request you, have in mind where we must meet. Do not forget that we have to meet at dinner time. I request you not to forget, to remember where we should meet again at dinner time. Lorenzo is making a request that have in mind, do not forget, remember where we must meet at dinner time. Bassanio, I will not fail you. I will not fail to be there. I will not disappoint you. I will not fail to be there. Graciano, you look not well, Signor Antonio. You had too much respect upon the world. They lose it that do buy it with much care. Believe me, you are marvelously changed. So what is he saying? That you don't look well, Signor Antonio. You have too much respect upon the world. That is, you are too much concerned about the world, for the good opinion of the world. You are too much concerned for the good opinion of the world. They lose it that do buy it with much care. So, he is saying, those who strive, who struggle, who put a lot of effort to secure the good opinion of the world, believe me, they lose it. So they are not able to enjoy the happiness. Those who try a lot to secure the good opinion of the world, they lose the happiness. Believe me, you are marvelously changed. He is saying that you have changed so much. So, is it clear? So here underline much care, that is over anxious. Those who are over anxious, those who put a lot of effort, those who care much, that is those who are over anxious to secure the good opinion of the world, do not enjoy their wealth, their happiness, nothing they enjoy. You are marvelously changed. You have changed so much. Graciano is saying. Graciano could notice that he was not happy. He was looking sad. That is why he said this. Antonio, I hold the world, but as the world. That is, I value the world, I consider the world as it is. Graciano. And what is that? I think that I consider the world a stage where every man must play a part, and mine a sad one. I consider that the world is a stage and every man has got a part to play, and mine is a sad one, and my role is the role that of a sad person. Graciano. Let me play the fool. Then let me play the jester's role, the fool role of a person, a foolish man, of a fool. With mirth and laughter, let all wrinkles come, and let my liver rather heat with wine than my heart cool with mortifying groans. Graciano is saying, let me play the role of a jester with laughter, jokes, happiness, merrymaking until my wrinkles come, just as on the face of an old man, until I look like an old man having wrinkles. Let me make others laugh. Let me involve myself in mirth and laughter. Let my liver rather heat with wine than my heart cool with mortifying groans. He is saying this mortifying means self-denying desires causing death. He is saying in Elizabethan period it was believed that this wine produces rich blood. So let my liver rather heat with wine. So let me take wine and let my body, my liver, be filled with blood rather than having a cool heart. Because those who do not enjoy anything, those who are self-denying, they have a cool heart. So he is saying that why should I be like a man having a cool heart? I should have a liver filled with blood. Let my liver rather heat with wine. This is heat and cool. Cool heart, a person having a cool heart is a sad person, and a person having a hot liver is a lively personality. So understood? So it was, as I have already said, during Elizabethan period, it was believed that wine produces rich blood and a lively personality. So let me have a lively personality rather than have a cool heart by denying everything to myself. Why is saying so? Because he is saying that Antonio was having a sad face, just like an old man who is not interested in any worldly happiness. Okay. So, then my heart cool with mortifying groans. Why should a man whose blood is warm within sit like his grandsire cut in alabaster? Why should a man whose blood is warm within, that is, who has a warm blood, a young man, a man who is young, blood is warm within, that is a man who is young, sit like grandsire, that is grandfather. So he is saying, why should a man who is young should sit like a statue made of alabaster? Alabaster is a white stone, that is marble, used for making statues. Still motionless man, that is looking like the statue of an old man, that is grandfather. Grandsire is grandfather. Old person is young, but why should he sit like a statue of a grandfather? Why does it happen? Because of this mortifying groans. That is, sighs and groans, they drain blood from heart. So they look pale and sad. That is mortifying groans. And he looks like a statue, as if a statue of a grandfather. Sit like his grandsire cut in alabaster. Sleep when he wakes, when he should be lively, when he should be awake, when he should be active. He's sleeping. And creep into the jaundice, move in a slow degree into the jaundice. Jaundice, that is look, a pale and yellow look. So, a person who is sleeping, who is inactive, who is dull when he should be active, and slowly moves into the jaundice by being peevish. Peevish is ill-tempered, because he's ill-tempered, and slowly he is moving into jaundice. Jaundice, that is not a lively, cheerful, active face. That is pale and yellow face. I tell thee what, Antonio? I love thee, and it is my love that speaks. I am telling you this. Whatever I am telling you because of my love. It is my love for you that speaks. There are a sort of men, sort means type, kind. There are a type of men whose visages, that is faces, do cream and mantle like a standing pond. Cream and mantle here, pale and changeless. There are a type of people whose faces never change. That is, they have constantly pale and changeless appearance, just like a stagnant pond that has a thin layer over it, just like a cream settled on milk. So no change. Something has settled on it. So cream and mantle, a pale and changeless appearance, just like a stagnant pond that has a layer of, that is as a film on it, that is a layer on it, of dirt and slime. You must have seen a layer of dirt and slime, S-L-I-M-E, on the surface. So it is just like that, because it is not active, it is not cheerful. It lacks movement, inactive. That is why it is stagnant. It is a face of a sad person is compared with a stagnant pond or pool. And do a willful stillness. Okay, willful stillness. Willful stillness is deliberately. Deliberately they maintain, knowingly maintain with purpose to be dressed in an opinion. So that is purposely, willfully, they wear this, they dress themselves like this, in an opinion of wisdom, gravity, profound conceit. That is, deliberately they do that so that in others' opinion they will be dressed, they will appear wise, grave, and with profound conceit. That is, they will appear to be in deep thought. So to be dressed, that is to appear to have the reputation of. So they do it deliberately to maintain with purpose to be dressed in an opinion of wisdom. See, they do it to have the reputation of wisdom, seriousness, and profound conceit, so that others will think that they are serious, they are wise, and they are involved in deep thought. Deliberately they do this. And who should say, I am Sir Oracle? And who should say, that is as if they were saying, these people, those who are, those who appear, those who think that if they wear this serious kind of face, so that they will appear wise, thoughtful and serious, they, it seems as if they were saying, I am Sir Oracle. Actually, I am Sir Oracle, that is, I speak with the authority of Oracle. As if they were saying, I speak with the authority of Oracle. And Oracle was believed to be the voice of gods through the priests. Write down, Oracle is the voice of gods. Oracle was believed. In olden days, Oracle was believed to be the voice of gods through the priests. So, Oracle is a person infallible in his utterances. So, any person who is infallible, who cannot commit any mistake, is compared with Oracle. But here it is used contemptuously. Here it is used contemptuously for the self-proclaimed person. So, though they are proclaiming that we are Oracle, or I am Sir Oracle. So, when I open my lips, when I talk, no, let no dog bark, let no other person speak. Oh, my Antonio, I do know of these, I know such men, that therefore only are reputed wise for saying nothing. They are considered to be reputed or wise as long as they say nothing. As long as they keep quiet, they are considered to be wise. When I am very sure, if they should speak, would almost damn those ears which, hearing them, would call their brothers fools. See, that therefore only are reputed wise for saying nothing. When I am very sure, and when I am very sure, I am very sure that when, if they speak, those who listen to them would damn their ears. That is, shall be in the danger of the hellfire. Because in Bible it is said that calling your brothers fool will, if you call someone that is your brother fool, you shall be in the danger of hell. That is, you will be damned. But they have no other way. They have to damn their ears, because if these people speak, those who listen to them will definitely call them fool, and if they call them fool, they will be damned. Now understood? So, when I am very sure, if they should speak, would almost damn those ears which, hearing them, would call their brothers fools. Because those people who would listen to them would call their brothers fools. Their brothers are those who speak these foolish things. Once they open their mouth, they will speak nonsense. And those who listen to them will definitely call them fools. And if they call them fools, they will be damned. And they will be in the danger of hellfire. But there is no other way. I'll tell thee more of this another time. More of this I'll tell you some other time. But fish not with this melancholy bait. Here fish has been used as a verb. Fish not with this melancholy bait. Melancholy bait is something, a food that is FOD, food that is used to attract a fish. You must have seen in fishing rods, the small baits are attached so that the fish will get attracted and be caught. So, what Graciano is saying, fish not with this melancholy bait. Do not use your sadness as a bait to get this full gudgeon. Full gudgeon. And you know, gudgeon is a worthless fish. So, if you think that by using your sadness as a bait to get reputation, that is your stupid reputation, this opinion, reputation, that is your foolishness. Because what the reputation that you are going to get using this melancholy as a bait is just like a small worthless fish that can be easily caught. So understood here? Antonio is saying that to Antonio, Graciano is saying, why are you sad? Because you want to look serious? You want to get reputation? from others? Others will think that you are wise? No. The reputation that you are going to get is just a stupid reputation. Stupid reputation. Just like a stupid, worthless fish that will be caught using a bait. And that bait is, for you are using your melancholy as a bait. So don't use this sadness as a bait to get the reputation. Because that reputation is just like a gudgeon. That is a worthless fish. That reputation is not going to help you at all. Come, good Lorenzo, fare ye well a while. I'll lend my exhortation after dinner. So what is saying? Graciano is saying to Lorenzo, come away. And he is bidding farewell to Antonio. Fare ye well a while. For the present, goodbye, Antonio. For now, goodbye, Antonio. I'll end my exhortation after dinner. I'll finish my good advice after dinner. And he is ready to move with Lorenzo. Now Lorenzo speaks. Well, we will leave you then till dinner time. I must be one of these same dumb wise men, for Graciano never lets me speak. So what is Lorenzo saying? Well, we shall leave you till we meet at dinner. So, I must be one of these same dumb wise men. What does he mean? He's saying, I must be one of those men who are counted wise for their silence. Because Graciano will not allow me to speak. For means because Graciano never lets me speak. Understood here? Graciano doesn't allow me to speak. I must be like one of those silent wise men. Now, Graciano is saying, well, keep me company but 2 years more. Thou shalt not know the sound of thine own tongue. Graciano is saying that, well, if you stay in my company, or if you give me company for 2 years more, you will not be able to recognize the sound of your own voice. You shall not know. You will not know the sound. You will not recognize the sound of thine, means your own voice. Next. Graciano. Thanks, I faith. Thank you, I faith. That is truly. For silence is only commendable. Commendable, that is praiseworthy. In a neat's tongue dry. Neat's tongue, that is ox tongue. Ox tongue is a dish. So what Graciano is saying? Silence is only commendable. Silence is praiseworthy only if it suits only a tongue, a dead ox's tongue. Because those who are alive, those who are active, those who have tongue, they speak. And silence suits only a tongue, that is an ox tongue, that is served as a dish on the table. So what does he mean here? It means a person, an active person, a person who is alive, who is having an active tongue, must speak. And then exeunt. Graciano and Lorenzo. Graciano and Lorenzo leave.